The biggest change I've seen in the rental market in the last 5 years, stay tuned, we're going to talk about it right now.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Expert property manager Cleo with the cold, how are you?
Good morning. I'm okay. I'm surviving. On hardly any sleep, but what else is new as a mum and a property manager? Sleep is
And
an afterthought.
you got a cold.
I do. I've got this weird. I don't know. It's like almost like hay fever. Like I don't have a sore throat or anything, but just really blocked up. So
It's
yeah,
allergic.
stay away.
It's allergy. Now, guys, we wanted to talk with you today because I have been absolutely floored by the radical changes I've seen in the rental market in the last month, and it actually crept up on me where our business typically has, like, we're the largest rental business, one of the largest rental businesses in Sydney. We're certainly the largest by a long shot north of the bridge, managing 2,000 rental properties. We would normally have at this time of year 40 to 50 properties for rent, rocking around to all those open houses on a Saturday, doing, finding tenants for these properties. Last weekend, 5. And we looked at the rental market and said, what just happened there? Can you explain this, Cleo?
I know. I'm trying to think what it could be. I was talking to one of our tradesmen in reception the other day, and I was saying, well, tenants are they staying put? Are they worried about pricing? They're not giving notice, obviously, because we're not having this, relet busy time. Christmas usually has, like you said, about 50 properties. Landlords typically in the past didn't want to have their properties vacant around this time, even though it's summer. We used to have a lot of movement this time of year, and they always wanted to secure a tenant, either through the winter period and also this Christmas period. But yeah, 5 properties. It's absolutely crazy. I can't think of the reason of why it's happening, but it is happening. We are getting maybe one tenant give notice in every 3 weeks at the moment. It's crazy.
I've
I
never,
know.
in my career of 32 years, I've never seen stock so tight in the rental market than what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. The weirdest thing is how it crept up on me. I was like, Mel said something last Saturday, and I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, we got 5. And I was thinking, how did that happen? Because it seems like a lot of the data across Sydney is they're saying that it's leveled out, it's not hot, but the reality is, and I've always said this, Cleo, the northern beaches always has the first move with the property market. Guys and girls, if you want to know what's happening with sales, with commercial, with residential rentals, watch what Northern Beaches property does. I witnessed it through COVID. I witnessed it through the uh, um, what do we
Boom, the
call it?
boom, the boom, the crash.
The boom, the crash, every single major change in the Sydney market I see happen first on the beaches. So I'm predicting, and I reckon it's going to follow the trend of what the beaches is doing across Sydney rental market in the next 1, 2, or 3 months, which then means we've got the Mr. Mins, the planning guy, talking about getting more properties into the Sydney grid. It seemed like that whole conversation has relaxed about having to build more properties into Sydney, but I reckon it's going to spark up that conversation. So the next 3 months, watch the conversations flow about getting more development to Sydney because the rental market's going to be going bananas.
Yeah, typically, like you said, when there's no stock, prices go up. That's the reality of it. The landlords, I think during 2023, we didn't do many rent increases at all because we had big rent increases in 22 coming out of COVID, 23 in the beginning. So tenants have had a relaxed 23 as far as increases have gone. And now, if we keep seeing this low stock level, then owners are going to want to capitalize on that, next year I'm feeling that a lot of tenants might get a rent increase that's reflective of this shortage, unless it changes, which I can't see it changing by the
So
figures that we have now.
yeah, what you brought up there is interesting because in the industry data, which we don't see much, we call it rental spread. It's what it was rented for to what it does get rented for when the tenant moves out to the new tenant moving in. The difference in dollars between the rent. So we actively measure the spread, and Cleo, we're always running those tiles with what it was rented for and what it did get rented for. I'm reading some of those spreads in our social media, and I'm thinking that's a fairly solid before and after price.
Yeah, it doesn't make us popular when we do that. We do get a bit of backlash for the before or afters. But that's reality. That's reality in our industry. I have one property for rent. It used to rent for 720. I now have applications at 850. That's real time. It's a 2 bedroom in Pacific Parade with a balcony and a car space. No major renos, kitchen still, it's not brand new, anything like that. But yeah, I've got 3 applications at 850 and I was getting 720. So
Now that's not fair on tenants, because they're having to find an extra $100 a week,
it's a
potentially
lot.
$50 a week. It's a bucket load of money. Single-handedly, it's not fair on also landlords because I'm seeing the amount of interest landlords have had to pay more. So where a tenant's paying $50 a week more, a landlord is often paying $1,000 a week more, because their mortgage rates went from 2.5% to 5.5%, 6%. So it seems like that there's that pain out there with tenants having to pay increased rent, which kills me. And then there's the pain out there with landlords having to pay increased interest, which kills me. It's a lot of money out at the moment. So it's an interesting rental market, and I've never seen the residential rental market grow in dollar value as fast as what I've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, look, we're Northern Beaches, as we know, is a great place to live. We're a stable community. Everybody, gravitates towards the beaches, and our property market's now reflective of that. If you're an owner choosing a tenant right now, you are more selective. Tenants that have a good rental history, that pay rent on time, all that sort of stuff's very important in this tight market. So if you are out there and you are a tenant looking, your application needs to be super shiny. Not that it isn't, and it's not that it's harder, it's just there is a shortage at the moment. So put your best foot forward. Call us, speak to your property manager. If you're renting, see what you can do to make your application stand out in this period. We're hoping more landlords will come back, and maybe the spring market will bring some investors back, and that might in turn help with this shortage. But yeah, I've not seen it before either. We're in uncharted waters, that's for sure.
Well, what's going to make it more attractive to landlords to come back into the market?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, everyone talks interest rates, but that's too easy. I don't know that that's going to make a huge difference. Yeah, maybe some kind of incentive. I know if Chris Minns puts through the no grounds notice, it's surely not going to help. It's not going to help landlords if they don't have the flexibility
Yeah.
with termination. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Look, I've been saying it over and over and over. If you kill the farmer, you're killing the crops. At the moment, the landlord's being absolutely nailed, as well as the tenants. But the landlord's being nailed, and the reality is, it's not attractive for them to enter the market. It's attractive for them to exit the market, and that's only going to rally the rents further. So it's a bit of a hot pot at the moment. So stay tuned, everyone. But I'm just hoping there's going to be a little bit more development in the area, so there's going to be more supply. There's obviously a need for it. And look, I'm hand on my heart. I'm typical real estate agent. We love stuff to sell. We love development. But no one loves it next door to them. I've had a unit block get built next door to me. I had a block of 9 surprisingly get built next door to me, and I was like, "What?" I get the pain, but it's sometimes it's progress.
As long as there's a coffee shop being built underneath, I'm down.
It's true. Cleo, thank you very much for this. That's the
Thank
update
you.
on the rental property market for landlords, for tenants, for everyone out there. And I do genuinely, hand on my heart, reckon we often have that first move advantage in that first move with what the property market does on the North Beaches. And we're seeing that rental market go bananas.
We'll see what happens. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Ledge. Take care.